Hi, this is Ken Long again. I want to describe in this presentation some insights into participatory action research. And one of the things that happens when you conduct multiple cycles of inquiry, and that is that if you're true to the process and you are reflecting on the results, and in particular if your group members are really being treated as co-researchers with an equal voice about the things that matter and where the research needs to go, you quite often find yourself shifting your attention, shifting the research question in ways that are quite unpredictable. Well, that has important consequences for doctoral research. In traditional research, you begin with a area of theory that you're interested in, maybe you have passion for, and you narrow down to a topic or a question that you want to investigate, and then you rigorously construct experiments and develop analytical procedures to gather data and analyze the data and come to supportable conclusions, all very structured and procedural and lockstep. In participatory action research, because you are open to learning as you go, it's not unusual for the topic to change. And so I've depicted that here with cycles of action research. In each cycle of action research, you're conducting diagnosis, some action and measurement, and then a reflection upon those results, and then in that group, conducting diagnosis again iteratively. And so in each one of these cycles you have elements of theory that you need to draw in to inform the particular research question, and you're going to generate practical evidence as a consequence of that research, and that's the evidence that you're going to reflect upon, connected back to theory, and then determine, based on those results and the values of the group as espoused and as modified by research, where the next cycle needs to go. And what you do is you're gathering evidence of your research as you go, what I've described as this ever-growing database of artifacts that have been created during these different cycles that support the action research cycles. The artifacts themselves take on a quality of permanence and identity and have an independent reality in the world, and changes the circumstances of the research. It will change an organization. Many of the questionnaires that I've developed and the construct of voice itself, which I've talked about in a previous clip, were generated as a consequence of action research, and the act of creating those questions and the discussions about voice have changed the way I've conducted my practice as a teacher individually, the way we've conducted faculty development programs in our department, and the way that classrooms are managed in some of our lessons, and organizationally we've changed policies and procedures. So the infrastructure itself has changed as a consequence of these cycles of action research. Well, as the research continues to move along and it gets refined, you're continually drawing in new theories, generating new pieces of evidence. At each cycle, though, in action research, there really are many possible paths that the research can go. And you never know ahead of time where those paths may lead you to. You may have some inklings, you may have a hint of where it's going, but not until you've completed that cycle of research and celebration do you really decide where you're heading to next. And each one of those potential cycles will lead you to new domains of theory and evidence. From a doctoral perspective, your problem is that you want to be complete by a date certain. You want to have certified your skills as a doctoral level researcher so that the credential has meaning, so that it gives you the confidence and the moral high ground to be able to act independently as a doctoral level researcher. As your problem morphs, though, what you see is that the numbers and types of theory increase as you go, and your ability to go deep into each one of these theories is degraded by the fact that there's so many of them, and that time is diminishing as you go. Now, over the course of your career as a doctoral researcher, that's not a problem because you can be selective about where you want to go. But in terms of meeting the time standards of a program, there is a very real issue between you and your mentor in negotiating the depth and breadth and width and time management plan that goes into the research quality. And so if there's 100 units of work that are normally associated with going deep onto a quantitative theory, it may be that you have 10 different theories that inform your participatory action research, and you may only be able to get 5 units of work in each one of them and 50 units of work drawing those things together, generating the data as you go. And that's just an acknowledgement of the reality of project management through time. So that's an important topic for you and your mentor to address early and check back in frequently as you go.